Hey guys, how's it going? Spinosaurus the King here, and in this video, I'm going to be joined by a special guest. Go ahead, brother. Introduce yourself.
What's good, Brooklanders? It's your girl, Brooklyn, and her girlfriend,
Yeah, you didn't expect that, right? Was that awesome? Where's your girlfriend?
Kenji. Anyway,
I had to say it.
so, hey everybody, David Church here, and Spinosaurus the King and I, we've, we're happy to say that if you've watched our non-spoiler review of Chaos Series Season 3, this is our spoiler review.
Yep. So we're going to full on spoilers. So again, before we begin, if you've not seen Jurassic Chaos Theory or you've only seen part of it, watch the full season first and then come to this video because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So again, you've been warned. This video will be going into heavy spoilers for season 3. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're still here, let's begin. All right, David. Since you're the guest, bro, why don't you go ahead and tell us your spoiler review, and then I'll tell mine as you go along, bro.
Okay, where to begin? So, it was really, really cool to have Barry back in, like, more than just the first episode.
Oh, for sure, that was awesome. I
Yeah, I
agree,
mean,
100%.
I did not like. I knew he was going to be in the series, like in this season, but I didn't expect him to appear like in season, like in the ninth and 10th episodes either. Like, I thought it was just going to be like a one-time thing in episode 1 of this season. But
For sure.
lo and behold, he's very heavily involved in the last two episodes. Like, because this is part of because the last two episodes show that it actually takes place during the events of Dominion.
True, true. Now, again, for me, in terms of like how I'm gonna break this down, because again, there's a lot of things to talk about for season 3. I'm gonna break it down parts of parts. So the first part I'll talk about is all the dinosaur battles that we got to see in season 3. And if I miss any, you can correct me,
Hmm.
bro, or if I get anything wrong. But again, all the dinosaur battles that happened were pretty cool. I was hoping for a few more, like, big dinosaur battles, but unfortunately we didn't get that. But I'm sure we'll get that in the future. But the battles that happened, we got a quick scene of the Allosaurus versus the Ceratosaurus, a quick scene of the Allosaurus versus the Carnotaurus. They weren't like a full on fight, but it was like a quick little scuffle. But I guess you can count it as like a short fight, right? So,
I think.
yeah. There was a scene with Illustrasaurus versus Illustrasaurus, like basically two of them fighting. There's a scene where it fights, I think, one or two compies. There was a scene of Sticky Moloch versus Stiggy. There was Compy versus Compy. Oh my god, there's a lot. There's a pack of Locusts versus a fully grown Baryonyx. And what else was there, brother?
Oh, Pyroraptor versus Atrociraptor. You can't forget that.
Oh yeah, and that was badass. It really was. And again, like the fact that we saw that, like, three Atrociraptors versus the one Pyroraptor, that really shows, like, again, the Pyroraptor is definitely stronger than what I thought, bro.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Like, obviously, if it was like a death battle, I'm sure the Atrociraptor will win just because it's a 3v1, and the Pyroraptor is kind of similar strength to like one Atrociraptor, but it still was. But again, it still was cool to see how the Pyroraptor was putting up a good fight, though.
For sure. Oh, and don't forget the final battle with the Atrociraptors versus the Demon Carno.
Again, that was by far the best fight in the whole season for sure.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And again, speaking of that specific fight, it really was cool to learn more about what happened to the Demon Carnotaurus after we last saw him in Dominion, and the fact that he was actually part of the laser control. I had no idea. That is cool how that was confirmed in season 3. That's awesome.
Agreed. I mean, you never would have guessed that it was the Demon Carno of all
Yeah,
dinos.
because again, there's no hints of that in Dominion, so that was really cool that was explored in Chaos Theory season 3 for sure, bro.
Oh yeah.
100%. That's true.
Very,
And then, of
very
course,
cool.
I'm going to be honest, it was pretty sad to see Ghost die because I had no idea that Ghost died after Dominion. So, the rest in peace to Ghost. That was sad. Sure.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see that one coming. But speaking of deaths that you don't see coming, let's talk about the Raptor handler.
Yeah, man, her death was absolutely brutal. Like, and the reason why it was so brutal is because, again, like, I actually kind of felt sorry for the Raptor lady because, again, she isn't as evil as we thought. She just wanted to be with the Raptors, and the fact that she, even in a way, teamed up with Brooklyn to take down Santos, which is, the bigger villain. And the fact that she actually spoke before she died, saying stop to defend her Raptors, really shows that she does, in a way, have a heart. She's not as heartless as we thought.
Exactly.
For sure. So, but yeah, seeing her being chomped by the Demon Carnotaurus, I didn't expect that. I thought she was going to be alive for both season 3 and 4, but turns out that's that's not the case, you know.
No, indeed, and like just leaving only her whistle left.
For
My
sure.
jaw dropped when that
Yeah,
happened.
same here. I didn't expect that. That was a cool surprise, to be honest. You know, the final battle was awesome. Was awesome, and also like just seeing the final battle start with like Santos versus the Raptor handler, and then just seeing, you know, of course the atrocious Raptor pack versus the Controverse. Like that was definitely the final battle in all 3 seasons of Chaos Theory for sure.
Absolutely.
True. Now, of course, the Spinosaurus didn't appear, but at least it wasn't ruined, and at least no one like talked bad about it throughout the season. We still don't know what happened to it, but again, I would rather know Spinosaurus than Spinosaurus being ruined, right? So,
Agreed.
but let's hope one day it returns. I mean, for now, I'm starting to think that it's not going to return, just because like it wasn't in any of the seasons of Chaos Theory. It wasn't really mentioned, but again, it's possible for season 4 because we don't know too much about season 4 yet, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, for sure. Now, guys, Giganotosaurus was not in season 3, but again, I can almost guarantee it's gonna be in season 4 because they're going into the Biosyn Valley in season 4. So we're definitely gonna see the Giga in season 4, 100%.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that it'll be that's the case too.
For sure. Now, speaking of Giga, let's talk about all the species that we saw in season 3 that both appeared in the trailer and didn't appear in the trailer. Do you want to go ahead and start that part off, brother?
I'll let you kick it off. Actually,
Actually, yeah, sure. So since I came up with that part, now, sure, let's do that. So the dinosaurs that were not in the trailer that appeared in the season, I think it was what the Listrosaurus, the Monolophosaurus,
yep,
the Pachyrhinosaurus, and the Pseudoceratops.
and Sinoceratops. Now that you mention it.
Yep, and the Sinoceratops, yeah, because I mean, like we did see a Ceratopsy in the trailer, but it wasn't clear which one it was. So I guess you can count that not being being unknown, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I think Compies were not in the trailer, or were they? I forget.
I don't think they were in the trailer. I could be wrong.
True. From what I remember, they weren't. So yeah, Compies weren't in the trailer. The all the ceratopsians were not in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Monolophosaurus, Glycosaurus, but I think that's about it in terms of species that were not in the trailer.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
For sure.
Oh,
And then
and
of course,
actually, come to think of it,
yeah,
even though like we didn't really see Smoothie in the trailer, but then again, he was like we at least saw his egg and that he was hatching.
yeah. So I guess that still kind of counts, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like not a full reveal, but since the egg hatched, I guess it was pretty obvious that he was gonna appear, right? So.
Right.
But speaking of that, let's talk about like overall all the dinosaurs that were in season 3, besides the ones we just mentioned. There was obviously there was a Baryonyx, there was a Carnotaurus, there was a Ceratosaurus, there was an Allosaurus, there was a Pteranodon, Dimorphodon. What
Mm-hmm.
else was there? I'm trying to think. Stygimoloch.
Gallimimus was it in the black market as well?
Yep, Gallimimus was there.
Yep.
What else was there? There's a few others, I think. Wait, Trosraptor, Pyroraptor. Uh,
Velociraptor was also in the market as it was shown in the
sure.
thing.
Speaking of Velociraptor, was that the green one from Manticore Island? I couldn't tell.
I'm not sure if it was,
It
to be
appeared.
honest.
It appeared to be a different color. I think it was just a random raptor.
Yeah, probably.
True, but it was cool to see a new raptor in the franchise. That was pretty cool, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
True. Oh, I forgot. No, I don't think Parasaurolophus was in the trailer.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
So again, that's another dinosaur that was in the movie that was in season 3 that was in the trailer. So that was a cool surprise too.
For sure.
True. And in terms of species, I mean, locusts were there too, and I think that was that was all the species that appeared in season 3, right?
I think so.
For sure. Now, in terms of like the tie-in to what's it called, the tie-ins to Dominion, there was a lot. So obviously, there was a scene where Santos was given a new mission from Louis Doxon to capture a Beta, and we know Beta was in Italy, right? So that definitely was which further proves that this is taking place during Dominion. Seeing the Malta scene with the Allosaurus and the Carnotaurus running loose and Malta, that was also from Dominion as well. So that took place during Dominion. And then, of course, seeing Barry on the phone with Owen and Claire confirming their arrival in Malta, that's for another tie into Dominion right there as
Oh
well.
yeah.
And then seeing Sayona Santos with the red laser on behind her head. That definitely that really was taken from the movie in there, you know. So that was pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah. In fact, I gotta say, it was actually very much a surprise that we're already taking place during the events of Dominion already in Chaos Theory.
Yeah, I know, especially after because again, season two took place I think in October, so it's kind of crazy how they're already going into the events of Dominion. But I guess maybe there's a bit of a time jump between sometimes, like not at the very beginning of season three, but I guess maybe after a couple episodes in, it's kind of a time jump a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, because on the other hand, they don't really say how long it was since when they landed in Europe, and then go to Ben's girlfriend's house, and then like when the events of Dominion start, they don't really say how much time passes.
For sure. Well, in terms of like what part of Dominion they're in season three, like by the end of season three, they're definitely like the whole Malta sequence has already taken place during then. So I think come to the ending of season three, they're probably more than halfway through the movie of Dominion, maybe
Right, because I'm guessing by the time of season four will start, or at least I should say this is just my best guess, but when Kenji and Sammy arrive in the Biosin Valley, something tells me that it's probably before or during the Quetzalcoatlus attack on Kayla's plane.
yeah. That was that makes sense to it because I don't think they're towards the end of Dominion when it comes to the beginning of season three. I think it's more like either just before the Quetzalcoatlus attack or just after, and maybe they're gonna see that plane
Who knows? But hopefully, too, that means that they're also going to meet the Therizinosaurus and the Giganotosaurus as they're in Biosin Valley.
for sure. I do feel like it definitely is a big possibility in season four. We're gonna get the Giga, the Therizinosaurus, Rexy, maybe even the Buck and the Doe, and some other dinosaurs. I heard rumors that the Manticore Island dinosaurs were taken there, but for now, the only ones that we know that are there for sure is Bumpy, but the other ones are unknown. So
Hmm.
for sure, like we did see Big Edie in season one, but again, after that, we don't know what happened to her
Right,
next. So it's
and we still don't know what happened to Pierce, Rebel and Angel, and Little Edie.
sure, and of course the Spino as well, and
Exactly.
Toro. So I mean, it would be nice to see them season four, even though I highly doubt it, you know,
Right, exactly.
for sure. But yeah, man, I'm trying to think because again, there's just so much to go over, you know.
There is. I mean, it's like there's just so much to talk about this season.
True, true, but good things. In terms of tie-ins to Dominion, what other tie-ins were there? I mean, like it was cool to see. Um, I'm trying to think.
Oh,
What other tie-ins did we miss?
well, turns out because of this, it turns out that the Allosaurus in Malta was the exact same one from Battle at Big Rock after all.
For sure, which is pretty cool because like for some reason I kind of theorized that at first, but then a lot of people were telling me that it's just a random Allosaurus, which kind of led me to think it is a new Allosaurus. But then of course when we see that Allosaurus looking at Darius, it has the same blind eye, which confirms that the Allosaurus in Dominion is the same one from Battle of Big Rock, which is pretty cool to be honest. You know,
That it
I
is.
yeah,
I was all for having it be just a random Allosaurus, but I just think it kind of makes it a nice little connection.
for sure. Like to be honest, I'm actually quite glad that they did that because it's just another big connection to Dominion, and like what would have been better? It would have been awesome too if they were able to, keep that original story where Toro was giving the Demon Carnosaurus, but unfortunately that never worked out. But if that did work out, that would have been cool because then we would have had the battle of Big Rock Allosaurus with Toro,
Oh, I would have loved that.
for sure. That would have been awesome.
Hmm.
But speaking of that, it is cool how we got to see the Demon Carnotaurus in animation. It looked very well, and even looked at the correct size to it. It looked to be a good couple meters more than Toro. The only issue that me and David have with it, guys, is that the coloration is too red. There's barely any black on it at all. You know,
Yeah, like it looks like it almost looks like Toro, but with a broken horn and without a scar on his right side of the snout. But the broken horn does tell us that it's the Demon
for
Carno, but it doesn't look
sure.
exactly like its movie counterpart.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing how they weren't able to make it look exactly like it, but it was still pretty good. They just missed a couple more details on it. You know,
Hmm. Exactly.
for sure. And then what other? I'm trying to think what other tie-ins that there were to Dominion there. I mean, obviously we found out what happened to Santos after shortly after the events of when we last saw her in Dominion. She was shortly arrested after that, and then of course we found out that the Demon Carnotaurus responds to lasers like the Atrociraptors did, which is pretty cool because again, there's no hints of that in Dominion, so it is cool to see that there's more dinosaurs out there that are controlled by the laser besides just the Atrociraptor pack.
Oh yeah, exactly.
100%, bro. And then what other things? I mean, season three, it was really cool to see Bumpy's egg hatch. Smoothie is obviously a male baby Ankylosaurus, and he's like by far the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my god,
Right? He's so
he
adorable.
really is. It's like, bro, I want to adopt him. He's amazing
Me too.
for sure, and he's so friendly too. Like he's got the most innocent face ever. He really does
Yes. I think he rivals his mom in cuteness as far as baby and Kylosaurs
for sure.
go.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Bumpy was still very adorable as well as baby, but like Smoothie's by far the cutest baby in the entire world.
Oh yeah.
He's even cute. Like I know this is gonna be a bit of a hot take, guys, but I think Smoothie is even cuter than a kitten or a puppy. It's just I don't know. It's just that little, his little armor on him and his big head. Like oh my god, and his big eyes.
Yes.
It's his big eyes too. Like and the way he like he's like the cute noises he makes too
Right.
for sure. Yeah, Smoothie is amazing for sure. I'm glad Smoothie has the great campers that actually truly care about Smoothie to take care of him.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward for Bumpy to reuniting with her baby. That's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely. I'm probably I'm probably gonna like shed a tear of cuteness when that happens.
Oh, it's the same here, bro. Like when Smoothie first has and they all had tears. I mean, like I didn't have a tear, but I almost did.
Right?
Yeah, because it was just a very beautiful moment,
Very.
for sure. Like I know they're not at first didn't like Smoothie because again they're not a thinks that dinosaurs were bad, but then I think what happened is like the Nana realized that not all dinosaurs are evil,
Right. Exactly.
for sure. And in fact, I'm all for the dinosaurs aren't evil. It's just that some of these dinosaurs they act this way because they are unfortunately abused by humans, especially dinosaurs like the Indoraptor, the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus, and it also seems that the Demon Carno and the Allosaurus were abused by humans too. They're stuck down a black market being controlled by lasers. So they must hate humans for that,
That makes sense. Probably.
for sure, yeah. But I'm trying to think what other connections. I mean, like it was also really cool to see um the campers enter the black market after the whole dinosaurs escape from the black market because again in Dominion we saw the dinosaurs in the black market attacking the humans but we never saw someone going in there after the event, so obviously when the black market is completely empty, this takes place after the whole Malthus sequence then,
Mm-hmm.
or at least after when all the dinosaurs escaped.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
True. And I also appreciate season three for just giving more screen time to both the Allosaurus and the Carnotaurus because like bro in Dominion they had like what 20 seconds of screen time or maybe 30 max. It was crazy. I was expecting so much more than that,
Oh yeah.
for sure. But now seeing like the whole battle thing with both the Allo and the Carnotaurus in Jurassic World Chaos Theory season three, it just makes Dominion so much better now because at least now they have more than 30 seconds of screen time in that movie.
Right? It just really adds some more depth to Dominion because of that.
100%. Yep, for sure. And then, of course, it was really cool to get her answer about Brooklyn. We know Brooklyn is not evil. She was just spying on Santos, and then once Santos was arrested, she immediately turned on Santos, and then obviously Santos was pissed off about that.
Oh yeah. Cool to see that Santos finally got her just desserts and that she's finally like arrested.
For sure, man. She's very dangerous. She's caused a lot of crimes, so she needs to go to jail forever.
Right?
For sure. It's just good that she's caught, for all the crimes that she's committed.
For sure.
And then, of course, I'm not worried about Louis Dawson because if you've seen Dominion, guys, spoiler alert, he gets killed, so therefore his crimes will stop too.
Yep. But the question is, are any of the characters going to meet up with Dogson? I mean, still. with us now officially within the events of Dominion, I feel like there's only so much they can do now with like character interactions.
Yeah, that's true. For sure, for sure.
So the question is like, what else can they do?
True. Now, a lot of people have been saying, like, theorizing that the scooter that the Dimorphodon was flying off with is the scooter where the Allosaurus ate the guy. I think that's a possibility because, again, now knowing this takes place during Dominion and and in the scene where the Dimorphodon's flying off of the scooter, that takes place where the whole dinosaurs are terrorizing Malta. So I don't know. I'm just almost, I can basically guarantee that is the scooter that he flew off with. What do you think, bro?
I agree. I think that is the idea behind it.
True, which is pretty cool. It's another really cool connection and tie into Dominion, to be honest, you know.
Hmm.
But geez, poor guy, man. That innocent guy got drowned by the Allosaurus. I'm like, God, that's insane. A poor guy, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. And speaking of like, I think that guy, like, you know, that actor there was the actor that won the award to be eaten. Because again, remember in 2020, Chris Pratt advertised a thing where if you win this I forget what it was, but you get to get eaten by a dinosaur in Jurassic World. I think that was the guy that won it. So he's lucky, you know.
I think so. I think that that was the whole thing with that.
I'm pretty sure. So I mean, that was pretty cool how he got to win. He's lucky. I wish I was the one who got eaten by dinosaur in Dominion. That would have been awesome, you know,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
for sure. Um, what else? And overall, again, like when we saw Yasmina breaking up with Sammy, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm not surprised because seeing how much they disagree, like, because again, basically, Sammy says one thing and Yaz was saying the other thing, and after just seeing their relationship going back and forth like this in both season 2 and 1, I predicted them to break up, to be honest, and it looks like I got that right
Honestly, I didn't see the breakup coming. I thought they were gonna be like a couple that lasts together throughout the whole series.
for sure. I mean, originally I thought that after season 5 of Camp Cretaceous in season 1, but after seeing season 2, just seeing them kind of like, you know, not getting along as well, that's what made me lead towards them breaking up. And then I guess I turned out to be right, you know,
Hmm.
for sure. And especially after season 3, because man, they were really fighting in season 3, you know.
They were. Like I wasn't expecting them to do it that much.
True. Well, it's too bad. I'm sorry for them that didn't work out, but maybe it's just for the best, you know.
Perhaps. Who knows? Maybe they'll reconcile at the like a ending of season 4, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's possible season 4 they either get back together and they work out their differences after they have more of a talk, or maybe they both find someone else. At this point, it's unknown. You know, it's up in the air.
True. I
Sure,
mean, it is unknown at this point.
sure. But overall, I do feel sorry for them because obviously I'm sure they're both pretty hurt over this.
Hmm.
Because you know, because again, I've gone through breakups myself. Breakups are never easy, you know.
Never been one through one myself, but I can imagine they're painful.
Well, like again, the way I'll explain breakups, bro, and like from my experience is that again, the longer you've been with someone and then you break up with them, the more hurtful it is. But like the shorter you've been with someone and then you break up with them, then it's not as bad.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
And I guess the reason why is because the longer you've been with someone, the more hurtful it's going to be because the more you're going to miss them because you've been with them for so long, right? So
Exactly. I'm sure that's how it is.
for sure. But overall, it was supposed to see Lewis Dawson, and then seeing, of course, Owen Grady mentioned, and then of course Barry being there as well, and of course the whole plane thing with the Kentosaurs, that was crazy. Where the Kentosaurs like partly caused the plane to crash, you know,
Oh yeah,
for sure. But
yeah.
it
And
is
like
cool. Yeah,
like when they're trying to like revive the Kentrosaurus at first, it felt like that scene in Fallen Kingdom when Claire and Owen are trying to get the blood from Rexy, and then like when she wakes up.
you know what? That was a good callback, to be honest. That was pretty cool.
Agreed. It was a nice callback.
Yeah, like sure, I understand it's not the exact same scene where they're taking blood, but it was kind of
It
similar, you know.
was. And I would not be surprised at all if that was
True.
intentional.
I mean, even though the Kentosaurus, you know, the crashed plane, I am glad that they're at least able to save its life, you know, because it would have been sad if it passed away, you know,
Oh, very. It would have been very sad.
for sure. And speaking of sad, it was pretty sad when Ghost, the Toast Raptor, passed away. I didn't, that got me pretty sad too. because I like ghosts,
Yeah, and I just certainly did not expect that to happen.
for sure. And at the same time, guys, I do feel sorry for the Raptor lady because she isn't as evil as I thought. She just wanted to be with her Raptors, and eventually her and Brooklyn had the same enemy. And just seeing her chomp down on by the Demon Carnotaurus, which was jaw dropping, and then of course seeing her talking to defend her Raptors, which is what made me sad,
Hmm. Like I didn't expect her to talk either.
for sure. I didn't either. That was crazy.
Very.
For sure. But I am glad that they finally showed her talking before she died. That just added so much more character development to her, because I never expected to see her talk at all.
Agreed. Like that was a big surprise too.
For sure. And she was pretty sad when Ghost passed away because I'm pretty sure she was the original owner of the Raptors instead of Santos, so she's the one who raised them.
Yeah, I think so. Or at least of those three.
For sure. But yeah,
Because
but
it
definitely
felt
the
like
main three.
Santos was like really connected with Red between among all those Raptors.
Yeah, I feel like Red was more by Santos, and then the other three were more with the Raptor lady.
Yep.
For sure. And then, of course, what else could we add up with season three?
And again, just like seeing the Raptor lady getting chomped by the Demon Carno, that was a big surprise. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, same here, bro. I didn't see that coming either.
Exactly.
For sure. No, the other death with the Pyraptor killing that guy that was like, just minding his own business, and then of course we see, I think it was the Atrociraptor killing off the other guy that was involved with Bison. That was pretty brutal too.
Hmm. Although I don't think the Atrociraptors really got around to killing anybody this season. Like they were all stopped in one way or another.
True, but I think the Pyraptor killed one or two people. It was at least one person, but
Yeah, I think at least one.
true. And then of course the whole scene with Kenji and Sammy defending the people that were skiing, that was pretty cool. And then later on, once Kenji and Sammy defended them, and then they got hurt by the whole snow mountain falling
The
on
whole,
them. It
oh
was
yeah,
it
the
was
avalanche.
yeah, the avalanche falling on them, and then of course we see them going to to dig them up because obviously they're gonna the Ken if it weren't for Kenji and Sammy, then those people probably would have been dead from the Pyraptor, So it is cool that they saved them after.
Oh yeah. And
For sure, for
besides,
sure.
I mean, it's an avalanche. It's a natural disaster where people do have to look out for each other.
100%, yeah. Yeah, I think that scene was a lot of great character development. Like like when someone helps you, they help you back.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. I mean that's the way the world should work.
Amen to that.
For sure, bro. Because at the end of the day, everyone needs help. Even people that say they don't need help, everyone needs help with something.
Right. Exactly.
For sure. For sure. And overall, like, something else I found cool too. That this was a nice little reference to Dominion. Seeing the Pyraptor not only diving into icy water, but seeing it dive in snow, dig into snow to attack. That was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool too.
that was cool.
Really enjoyed seeing that. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a nice little callback to when the Pyroraptor dove into the water.
Yep. But this time it's snow, so that's why it was cool to see him dive into something else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now again, was the Pyraptor that we seen Jurassic with Dominion the same one in season three? Was it? I don't think it was.
Honestly, I
Maybe it
don't
was.
know. I mean,
I mean, it's possible, but
what if that is the case? I mean, we only saw one Pyroraptor in Dominion, and we only really saw one here in Chaos Series, and apparently that it escaped from the Biosyn Valley, so could be possible.
yeah, it's not impossible. It definitely is a possibility. So I guess as of right now, there's only one Pyroraptor in the franchise, unless they confirm that there are different ones, or we see two Pyroraptors in the same scene together in season four.
Right, because it honestly would be nice if there was more than just one.
Yeah, I agree. Because again, it kind of feels weird. Because again, raptors are pack hunters, right? So it would kind of feel weird where we see more than one to every raptor, except for the Pyroraptor. That'd be kind of weird.
Exactly, yes.
I mean, there should be at least 3, 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know
Yeah, I agree.
for sure. And then what else? What else was explained in season three that we missed?
Um, I'm not sure.
I mean, I did like that new character that Brooklyn met, the guy that was also trying to expose Bison, and that was a fan of Brooklyn. So it was cool to see him get in there and help the campers out to stop Bison. You know,
Oh yeah, for sure.
for sure. I don't know what his name was again, but again, he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name too, but he was a good character.
For sure. That is true. And then what else could we cover for season three? Oh, yeah, that scene where we see the Lystrosaurus breaking the metal with his teeth. Like Jesus, like for a small dinosaur, he's got a dangerous bite, bro.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't want my
small
hand
but
being bitten.
tough.
Oh yeah, definitely small but tough. I wouldn't want my hand being bitten by that. No way.
Mm-mm.
That would definitely hurt.
Oh yeah, yeah. Speaking of that stuff, it's also interesting to note that that there's more than one Lystrosaurus now.
Yeah, which is cool. So again, which makes me maybe the list of sources that we see and there are like are not Leonard, but who knows? Maybe one of them will Leonard. I don't know.
I I
Do you think it's
definitely
possible
think
one of
one
them?
of them was Leonard.
True. Well, but again, overall, it is cool to see that there's more than one list of source in the franchise. You know,
Oh yeah, even though it was said to be very rare, but still.
for sure. Which I didn't expect. I thought there was only that one, but based off season three, there's two of them now, right? So
Yeah, yeah, at least two.
yeah, maybe even three if none of those were Leonard. But there's minimum two.
Hmm.
For sure. And I like to think that the Luchasaurus that won the fight to the Luchasaurus, like Leonard was the winner. That's my guess.
I definitely feel like when Brooklyn is about to like put that one guy's hand like in the Luchasaurus's mouth, I do want to think that was
I
Leonard.
agree. I mean, even though it's not confirmed, I like to think that too. Just because again, we see Leonard, you know, basically biting off what's his name, um, the Delacourt, Rain Delacourt's hand
Oh
with
yeah.
him, which was extremely brutal.
Yep.
Actually, his dad was really bro. His hand was bitten by a Luchasaurus. His other hand was bitten by a juvenile Carnotaurus, and then his face was bitten by a juvenile Baryonyx. And man, his death was horrifying
Yeah, not a nice way to go.
for sure. Yeah, but in a way, it was kind of cool how they were able to explain that not only the adult dinosaurs are dangerous, but even the baby ones are
Oh yeah.
for sure. That is
That's
true,
for sure.
100%, brother.
Yep.
But overall, the only thing is I wish that we got in season three is I mean it would have been cool if the Spinosaurus was there. I mean I'm not gonna complain about the Giga not being there because again the Giga is guaranteed to be in season four anyways, right? So
Hmm.
and I kind of wish we got some more like big dinosaur fights. Like it would have been cool to see like a full on fight between the Allosaurus and the Ceratosaurus, or maybe the Baryonyx versus either, either the Allosaurus, Carnotaurus, or Ceratosaurus. But sadly, we didn't really get much of a fight between them. We just got a quick little scuffle between them, you know.
Right. Who knows? Maybe they're saving a big dinosaur fight for season four.
Yeah, it's possible. Like I'm pretty sure season four is the last season. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get some massive final battle.
Hmm.
What dinosaurs will be involved? I mean, probably the Giga for sure. The other ones, I don't know. I mean, it would be cool if there's like a massive fight between like the Spino, Giga, Rex, and others. That would be cool if that was the case
Oh yeah.
for sure. But again, if they do bring back the Spino season four, let's just hope that they don't ruin it by plotting or make it weaker. But I'm pretty sure they won't.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure at this point the filmmakers know that the Spinosaurus is bigger and stronger than the Giga. And speaking of Spinosaurus being bigger and stronger than the Giga, they even made the recent Jurassic Park 3 Hammond collection Spinosaurus bigger than the Hammond collection Giga, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, they said in the video that it's supposed to be 25 inches long, and they say it's the largest.
Nice. Actually, I think you have the Hammond collection Giga. How many inches is the Giga?
So the Gamma Collection Giga is just about 28 and a half inches from nose to tail, so the Spinosaurus has to be at least 29 or 30 inches.
Oh damn! So it's a good like what 2-3 inches more.
Right. I mean, that's my best guess, but I mean, at the time being, we don't have like a official in-hand size measurement.
True.
So, but we do know at the very least it's 25 inches from nose to tail, and 24 inches is about how big the Hammond Collection Rexy is.
True, true. Either way, it is cool that they made it bigger than the Giga and Rex Tour, you know?
Oh yeah,
For
I'm
sure.
legitimately hoping that it's at least the size of the Giga, if not slightly bigger.
For sure. Yeah, because again, like the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3 was around similar size to the Giga, but if we're talking about him being fully grown in Camp Cretaceous, obviously he's bigger than the Giga there.
Right. And but also to keep in mind that this is based on Jurassic Park 3 rather than Camp Cretaceous, so
Yeah, that's true.
who knows officially how big it's going to
True.
be.
I mean, speaking of that, imagine one day we got a Hammond collection Camp Cretaceous Spinosaurus. That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be a huge dino.
For sure. Oh, it definitely would. Because again, he got a lot bigger after Jurassic Park 3.
Yep.
And again, to our haters that say he only got a little bit bigger, they're either in denial or they're blind. I don't know, bro.
I don't know either.
For sure. But again, people like that, we don't need to talk about. They're not worth it, bro. So,
Right?
for sure. But, trying to think what else we could add. I mean, season 3, with like, again, it was an almost perfect season. I mean, like, I'm not going to complain too much about the battles. Like, again, season 3 wasn't really too much focused on dinosaur battles. I think it was more focusing on the connections to Dominion. So that's what I really see season 3 for. It's just connecting more to Dominion, and I think it did a fantastic job with that, which is why I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Absolutely. I agree with that rating.
Sure, and I'm pretty sure in season 4 we're going to get even more connections to Dominion
Oh, I don't doubt it.
for sure.
And again, I hope that we finally see the Giga and maybe even the Therizinosaurus in the next
For
season.
sure. Yeah, actually, you know what would be cool? Imagine we see the campers like seeing like either seeing the Rexy and the Giga fight, and they're like in a different area where they're seeing like the original cast running away from like the Giga and Rexy fighting or something. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
And they're
I
like
wouldn't be
hiding somewhere
surprised if
else.
something like that happened.
Yeah, or they see post fight and they see the Giga dead on the ground or something like that.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
I mean, we saw something similar to that in Camp Cretaceous season 1, where we see the dead Ankylosaurus.
True. And
So
not
it's not
to mention
impossible.
that we've seen other scene or that we've seen other recreations of scenes from the movies in Camp
That's
Cretaceous.
true.
So,
And to be honest, I always like when they do that because it just makes the show feel so much more canon then.
exactly.
And I'm gonna be honest, bro. After seeing season 3, now I officially consider KS Theory 100% canon because like I know it always was, but after just seeing all these tie-ins, it just makes it feel so much more canon now.
Yeah, I mean, just makes those connections all the stronger.
100%. Yeah.
Hmm.
That is true. For sure, for sure. And
Yep.
then, but yeah, the reason why I say the reason why I was debating whether there's one or two Ceratosaurus because like there is a Ceratosaurus that was like on top of the car and I don't know maybe it was just me but it just seemed like it had like a green color for some reason but I don't know maybe I just saw it wrong.
Yeah, I think there was only just one Ceratosaurus this season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I guess the scene where the Allosaurus bit it on the neck maybe it didn't kill it. It just it just quickly ran away before the Allosaurus could kill it
Yeah, I think that's the case.
for sure. Which is a good thing, God, because again, I don't want to keep seeing Stratosaurus die. Because like after seeing it getting, brutally murdered by the Scorpius Rex, it just seems like they're downplaying the Stratosaurus, which we don't want to see.
Agreed.
Yeah, like obviously the Allosaurus would beat it, but again, if they keep showing Stratosaurus die, it just would be it just wouldn't be nice because like the Stratosaurus doesn't deserve all this hate.
No, it doesn't.
And in fact, they should show the Stratosaurus winning a fight for a change.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Where they have it like fight something that it can beat. Like whether it beats a smaller Carnotaurus or a Baryonyx or a Raptor or just anything like that.
For sure. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Just because I feel like the Horned Lizard he deserves a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. And speaking of that, I do think it's a big possibility we're going to see the Jurassic Park 3 Ceratosaurus in season 4. And the reason why is because again in the Chaos Theory cards we see a Ceratosaurus with the same colors as JB3, which indicates he might be in season 4 maybe.
Well, we'll see. I mean, so far it's shown that those captives cards have really shown like dinosaurs that we weren't expecting, but do show up in Chaos Theory.
True, true.
But
Like the
also,
Pyroraptor and stuff.
I don't know if it's going to officially be the JP3 Ceratosaurus because we've seen that Ceratosaurus with that paint coloring with that coloration, I mean, in two separate episodes of Camp Cretaceous. You know,
True, true.
we saw one of that color in season 2, another one of season 3, and then the other one in season 4, and the last one was on Manticore Island.
Yeah, so but either way, I guess the card still is over, right? Because I mean, Stratosaurus is Stratosaurus, right? So
Hmm.
for sure,
And I mean, we at least
that's true.
did get the Ceratosaurus in Chaos Theory, and the
That's true
cards did correctly predict that.
for sure. Now again, if they really were gonna do Giga versus Spinosaurus in season 4, the only way I could really see this working is again if they're gonna have to get the Spinosaurus really be in the Biosin Valley. The only way I guess they could pull this off where it doesn't wreck on anything is maybe it's possible that the Spinosaurus arrived recently before Ramsey found out, which is why he said the Giga's the apex predator at least for now because he knew Spinosaurus was gonna be in Bison Valley, but he didn't know it was already there because it just arrived recently, and maybe it was on like the other part of the valley where the main cast wasn't there or something. I don't know.
Well, I
What
mean,
do you think?
I'm sure he would know of arrivals to the valley because he knows that Rexy had arrived.
True. Maybe it's possible he knew the Spinosaurus was about to arrive, but didn't arrive just yet, which is why at that specific moment he said at least for now. What do you think about that?
Could be, but I'm pretty sure when he says like the Giga's the apex predator at least for now, I'm pretty sure he was referring to Rexy's arrival rather than the Spinos.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, but it still is possible. Maybe the Spinosaurus was at the valley, but maybe it was just arriving recently. And again, if they really are going to do Giga versus Spinosaurus, the best way to pull it off, like again, if they want to show specifically Zeb, killing or beating the JB3 Spinosaurus, the only way I could see this working without Potimer is the Spinosaurus fights a Giga that's much bigger and stronger than Zeb, and then beats a Giga with like high to extreme high death, and then he gets tired after the fight, which Zeb would use to his advantage. So at least then it's not Plottimer. It still would be sad to even die, but at least then it wouldn't be Plottimer.
True.
But obviously, people like me and you are more in favor to him not dying because he's a fan favorite dinosaur of people like us, right? So
Right, exactly.
for sure. Or something else that could do again. If Zeb is the only Giganosaurus that is in the valley or that exists within the Jurassic Park franchise in 2022, then the only way I could really see Spinosaurus versus Giga working without Plottimer is Spinosaurus either knocks out Zeb or scares him away.
Could be.
For sure, which could explain how he got those scars.
Right, exactly.
Because I don't think it was confirmed what he got the scars from. My top three theories is this: he either got because again I think it was confirmed he had a fight with the Buck and Doe where he came out on top. So maybe it's possible he got the scars from the Buck and the
Hmm.
Doe. Either that or maybe he had a fight with the Therizinosaurus before in the past where it gave him some claw marks, or it could be okay, or it could have been from the Spinosaurus.
Well, either way, we don't officially know, but anything is possible.
For sure. And
You
then
never say never when it comes to this franchise.
yeah, that's true. And something else I've kind of like noticed too with these seasons. It just seems like season 1, 2, and 3 they're so close to each other. It kind of feels like if you watch all three of them together, it's like one season because like it takes place just right after each one.
Right.
It's like one long thing together.
Yeah, that's a good way to look
For
at
sure.
it.
Well, with Camp Cretaceous, I know with some seasons of Camp Cretaceous, like season 4 and 5, were right beside each other, but I think a couple of the other seasons weren't taking place like right after. If you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, there were time gaps in between some
For sure.
episodes and seasons.
For sure. The only seasons I know for sure was like no time zones at all takes place like literally right after was season 4 and 5. Like season 5 takes place like right after.
Mm-hmm. Although I
Well,
think,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, obviously, like it's an immediate pickup. We know that. But I was gonna say, I think we're seasons 1 and 2 of Camp Cretaceous. I don't think there was really much of a time gap between those. Like,
true,
I
true.
think the first episode of season 2 of Camp Cretaceous starts within an hour or two after the ending of season 1.
Yeah, so I guess there still isn't too much of a time gap, but like, but season 3, but camp what's it called? But Chaos Theory season 2 and 3, that was definitely right after because again we see the campers like just watching Brooklyn flying off with Santos, right? So
Yep. So yeah, I think that too was like it immediately picked up from the last season.
for sure. Which they're probably gonna do with season 4. Season 4 is probably gonna show it's gonna open with with Sammy and Kenji going to the Biosin Valley to introduce Smoothie to her mom.
Probably.
True,
Because then also
for sure. Actually, that would be a
when it
great
comes
opening
to
scene too.
because also when it comes to like time gaps in between the starts of seasons, I think when season two starts, it's about 2 weeks after the end of season one.
For sure. And speaking of the release date, season four, like we know with season one and two, they were about 5 months apart, and then season 2 to 3 was 6 months apart. So season four is probably going to be coming out at the earliest, maybe September, and then the latest October.
I I would hope that's the case. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was September when it comes out.
For sure.
Besides, I mean, I think if they release it in October or later, that's too far after both season three and Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because it is confirmed season four is going to be coming out after Rebirth, but I highly doubt it's going to come out 1 month. I think it's possible, and like, I mean, August would be probably the absolute earliest, and I'd say the absolute latest is August, is what's it called, October.
Hmm.
But my best guess is September because that would be the 5 year anniversary of Camp Cretaceous season one. So maybe they want to release it then, so it's for the 5 year celebration.
Could be.
Sure. But other than that, can you think of anything else that we missed, bro?
You know, I'm not sure. I mean, I think we pretty much got it.
For sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got you. Also, sorry, my voice sounds a bit what's it called? I think I caught a stuffy nose tape for someone, bro.
It's all right. I mean, I was sick not too long ago either.
Oh, to be honest, bro, I hate flu season. It really does suck.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're getting like especially stuffy nose where you're constantly blowing your nose. Oh, I hate that feeling, man.
Me too. Me
For
too.
sure. But yeah, overall, season three was great. Yeah, we talked about the battles, the tie-ins, the species and connections, or some predictions for season four. So I think we pretty. What about Easter eggs? Can you think of any Easter eggs?
You know, I don't. I know we talked about how how like the way they were trying to help the Kentrosaurus was like that scene in Fallen Kingdom,
Yeah,
but
that was a good Easter egg, to be honest. Yeah,
other than that, I don't think we really talked about many
for
others.
sure. I guess the other Easter egg is seeing the Pyroraptor dive in the snow, which we saw dive in the water in Dominion. So that was a good little Easter egg flashback there too.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
That's true. But yeah,
Mhm.
anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. Tell us what are your thoughts on season three. Did you love it? Did you not like it? What do you think was great about season three? What do you think they could have done better with? Are you guys excited for season four? And David, what else would you like to add to this before we end the video, brother?
Well, I do gotta say that I'm really looking forward to seeing how this show ends
Same.
because also now that we're officially within the events of Dominion, and they said they can't go beyond the events of that movie. It's gonna
True.
be interesting to see like what they can do for episodes so they don't go beyond the events of Dominion.
That's true.
Plus, I
Yep.
mean, would there be? Do you think there could be any way, shape, or form, or any possibility whatsoever we may get some setup and hints for Rebirth?
I mean, that would be cool if they're gonna do that. But again, if they were gonna do tie-ins to Rebirth, wouldn't they have to make like a new series that takes place after Dominion and before Rebirth? Or
You know, they probably would. You're right.
but that would be cool if they continue with the chaos theory and like a different series that's called Jurassic World something else. I mean, that would be cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would be cool if like they did make some ties to Rebirth in this, even though I know, like they said, that they weren't allowed to go beyond Dominion because they don't want to mess up the canon anymore. But
For sure.
then again, they already kind of did with having Dominion with having I mean, Chaos Theory being set like later in the year than in the summertime, like we initially thought.
For sure. Well, yeah, unfortunately, KS3 retconned when Dominion took place. Originally, we thought Dominion took place, I think, in like what June and July of
Hmm.
2022, but now they retconned that, and Dominion takes place in like I think November now of 2022.
Yeah, I think that's what they did.
Yeah, like November-ish.
Or
which
remember when
was
we
kind of
used to remember when we used to think that it was taking place after Dominion?
yeah, and that's why when I first saw season one, I was so confused, thinking if Bias is no longer around and Manticore's no longer there because Daniel Collins dead, then who the hell is hunting them? You know, that's why it was kind of. I mean, it like kind of is slightly disappointing now because that was the good mystery there. Thinking like, who the hell is it would like if this was after Dominion, it would have really felt like this is like a good secret like who's actually hunting them because again we have no idea then, right?
Right, exactly.
But unfortunately, that hype is gone now, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but what do you do?
That's true. But at least now after season three, this guarantee takes place during Dominion now, obviously
Oh yeah.
for sure. But overall, again, if I had to predict if season four is the last one and it takes place during Dominion, my best guess is that it's going to take place probably at the absolute most shortly after the events of the Battle of Zeb or something like that.
Oh yeah. I'd say that it probably would take place around that time and
For sure.
probably within like a week or two because I want to say that's what happens from when they leave Bison Valley to when we see the final scenes.
True.
It's got to be at least a week or two.
Yeah, yeah, most likely, yeah, for sure. But anyways, guys, tell us what you think in the comments down below. And David, it was so great to have you here again, brother.
Yeah, thanks, bro. This is always fun to do.
Before I end this video, I want to thank all my fans who are also my friends who continue watching my videos. You guys are the best. I appreciate all the support my fans are giving me. I love all my fans. If you are new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you're alerted for my next video on YouTube. Leave a like, post a friendly comment, and share my videos with everyone you know. I also hope you guys can consider joining my Patreon for amazing extra content and to support me. I have some amazing deals for extra content on my Patreon, so be sure to check it out. The link to my Patreon is in the description below. Each Patreon tier has a list of all the benefits you will receive if you join, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for extra content there as well. And until my next video, have a great day and take care everyone.